Okay, let us all stand up for our prayer. These are the people who lead the prayer.
Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Miss Artio. Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Again, good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, before you take your seat, kindly pick up some pieces of papers under your chairs and align your chairs properly. Okay, you may take your seat. So, class, how's your day?
Good.
Are you all good?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope we are all good, and it seems like we are all needs to be energized. So are you ready for our energizer?
Yes.
Oh, it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Alright. Oh, it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Make your mother make love till the sun shines. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Make your mother make love till the sun shines. Going crazy, put your hands in the air. We can party, get retarded, acting like we don't care. All my fellas popping bottles, put your drinks in the sky. Acting high, feel the vibe. It's a beautiful life. Never make love, be forever. Be yourself, go live your life. Let's go, come on. Don't you feel lonely? We can stay together. Spend a wonderful time. Oh, it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Make your mother make love till the sun shines. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. Make your mother make love till the sun shines.
So let us now check your attendance. Say present when I call your name. Namal, present. Latosa,
Present, ma'am.
Weba,
Present, ma'am.
and Arcio.
Present, ma'am.
So great, no one is absent today. Okay, so let us now read our classroom rules. Please read, class.
Practice honesty at all times. Avoid noises when someone is talking in front. Be called correctly. Raise your hand if you want to answer or ask any concern.
Okay, before we proceed to our discussion proper, I will read first our learning objectives. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the effects of exercise on anxiety and depression, describe the relationship between exercise and mistakes, discuss the effect of exercise on psychological well-being, and describe the relationships among exercise, personality changes, and within the factory, discuss the runner's high, and discuss the use of exercise as an adjunct to therapy.
Okay, before we proceed to our discussion proper, let us now have this activity. Read the directions. Students will be divided into 3 groups. Each group will be given one envelope containing these arranged letters. You will be given 3 minutes to puzzle those letters into words that you can find. Okay, so these are arranged words. Your 3 minutes starts now. Finish and get down. Finish. Okay, very good. Who will be the first to read the words that they or she had found on that disarranged letters? Okay, Miss Pala. Stress. Another one, Miss Naval. Depression now. Okay, very good. Miss Vega. Exercise. Miss Latosa. Okay, very good. After we have done this activity, is anyone here now has an idea Number one, reduction of anxiety and depression. Second, enhancement of mood. Third, improvement in self-concept. And lastly, improvement in quality of life. So the 6 dimensions that make up well-being is the self-acceptance. Okay, and the second, positive relationships with others. Third, autonomy, or the self-determined with intrinsic motivation and self-reference standards. Number 4, environmental mastery, or the effective mastery of the environment to fulfill personal values. Number 5, personal growth, or the sense of development of self-fulfillment over time. Lastly is the purpose in life, or the directed towards purposeful goals for living. So, when an individual has acquired these 6 dimensions, it will surely constitute to their well-being. So, the 2 classified effects of exercise, anxiety, and depression is number 1, the acute effects. So, acute effects refers to the immediate and possibly but not necessarily or temporary effects arising from a single bout to exercise. So, the acute effects, in other words, is the short-term effects of exercise in reducing anxiety and depression. And the second one is the chronic effects. Sports psychologists have also studied that the long-term or chronic effects of exercise investigating the validity of a mode, exercise in reducing of anxiety. Researchers investigated about the short-term and long-term effects of exercise in reduction of anxiety, but they focused more on the short-term effects. Investigation also concludes that for us to achieve a long-term effects when we do exercise, we must go Investigations also conclude that for us to achieve a long-term effect in doing exercise, we must typically last from 2 to 4 months and with 2 to 4 exercise sessions per week. So, in other words, in able for us to achieve a long-term effect, we must have to do an exercise that typically lasts from 2 to 4 months with 2 to 4 exercise sessions per week. Okay. And exercise and reduction of depression. Depression is a source of human suffering, as we all know. It is also stated that girls are more likely to experience depression than men. Although most of the depressions are treated with prescribed drugs and therapy, it is also identified that exercise is a close therapy in relieving depression. Or exercise is an alternative way of relieving depression. So, in addition, when an individual is not active in exercise or any types of physical activity, then he or she is prone to depression. Okay, understanding the effect of exercise and we say okay, understanding the effects of exercise in psychological well-being. The psychological benefits of exercise for children and adults are often forgotten, although understanding the effects of exercise in our psychological well-being. So, the psychological benefits it will contribute to our psychological well-being in the aspects of our self-competence, our interest in doing exercise, and in reducing stress and anxieties in our lives. That is why it's very important for us to do exercise when we have a time or on a daily basis for us to have a positive and healthy well-being. Exercise and development of itself. So exercise and physical activity can have a positive impact on one's self, especially that in our self-concept, self-esteem, and self-efficacy, or our self-commitment. So self-concept is the aspect of how we think we are. That's why exercise is a really huge role in how we perceive ourselves into a positive one. When we do exercise regularly, it is a higher chance that we can positively develop our self-esteem and our self-capabilities. That is why exercise are very important for our overall well-being. And now, for the exercise and hardiness. Okay, exercise and hardiness. Hardiness is a personality that enables a person to cope with stressful events. In other words, exercise enables us to cope with stressful events in our lives, and that is what we call hardiness. Examining the runner's high. The runner's high includes a sense of mental alertness and awareness. Example of this is when you have completed a long run and felt like you could keep going a few more, then you are experiencing a runner's high. So this is a sense of euphoria that helps athletes to feel relaxed and calm. It can also help shield against pain from a long bout of exercise, at least temporarily. So in other words, runner's high is the feeling that we can still do more even if we have completed a race or a long run, and that is a feeling of euphoria, or the calming or relieving feeling in ourselves. Now, for the cognitive functioning. For a long time, we have assumed that motor development is important for the development of intelligence of 8 children, as what we all know from Jean Piaget. And that learning potential and the cognitive capacity depends on a person's physical fitness. But neuroscientists, psychologists, and physicians strongly believe that exercise is the best thing we can do to our brain on developing our cognitive skills or our mental capabilities. So it is not really true that based on our physical aspects that we can only depend our mental capabilities. It is also that we need to exercise for us to develop our mental capacities. Okay, last chapter for our topic is the using exercise as an adjunct to therapy. Exercise therapy has been known to produce physiological effects in a broad variety of rehabilitation. But its benefits for mental health and psychological well-being are only discovered recently. So nowadays, most of our physiological and psychological therapists are using exercise as a therapy on relieving stress, anxieties, depressions that can keep our mental health and overall well-being healthy. So that's all.
Let's proceed to the next topic, which is the exercise behavior and determinism. Lots of people are currently exercising in an attempt to stay young and to improve the quality so dapat ang meron ka self-expressive wherein nga mahimong gid ang role nga mas limit mo lawas. So dapat ma-motivate ka mga kanila. Then, behaviors. Among studies of the main behaviors that might predict physical activity patterns in adulthood, research that persons who produce physical activity and sports participation has produced some of the most interesting findings. And supervised programs in which activity can be directly observed, past basketball. Personally, motivating goals for their exercise participation. So, syempre dapat, when you are exercising, you have a goal that needs to be achieved. Activation and dissociation. The thoughts or conditions what people focus their attentions on during exercising are also important to adherence to the exercise program. When the focus is on internal body feedback, example how the muscles feel or breathing, it also called association. When the focus is on the external environment, it's called dissociation. Decision-making approach. Whether to start an exercise program can often be a difficult decision. So people in the decision-making process, psychologists originally developed a technique known as decision balance scale. Siyempre, when we are exercising, we are making a decision for us to, hindi mo decisions sabi mo, ano yung exercise yung mga gamiton, kung mag-effective lang siya. Then, social support approaches. In our context, social support refers to an individual's favorable attitude towards someone else involved in an exercise program. Social and family interactions may influence physical activity in many ways. Spouses, family members, and the rest can view exercise through verbal reminders. Yes, like sabi sa mga sa support ng family mo, like na-motivate ka hindi lang kasama or gamas na like mga beautiful words, wherein motivate ka in doing some exercise. Agentic approaches. Most of the approaches discussed so far rely on some sort of giving, knowledge, feedback, or reward system to enhance exercise behavior. All of these tools and towards can certainly help improve exercise adherence. Don't know the tricks and that's the motivations come from the Focus on the process. One way to make physical activity more enjoyable is to focus on the process instead of the product of the movement activities. In essence, we must move from anxious orientation to an interesting puzzle. Focus on the process. So, when you are exercising, we must need to give our full effort. So, in focus on the process, when we are exercising, we must give our full effort and also our attention, which we can enjoy that, and also we must not think the outcome of that exercise that you always do. Engage in purposeful and mindful physical activity. In an interesting approach, Morgan 2001 argued that one of the key reasons that exercise adherence has hovered around 50% since the early 1970s is that activities prescribed for individuals often lack meaning and purpose for participants. So, there are guidelines for improving exercise adherence. Several elements have emerged as ways to enhancing adherence to exercise. We consolidate these elements into guidelines for the aspiring fitness professionals. Number one, much introduction to the stage of the change of the participants, provide tools for exercising, for example, signs, posters, and cartoons. Make the exercise enjoyable. Siyempre dapat mag-enjoy ka. Tailor the intensity, duration, and frequency of the exercise. Siyempre dapat ang duration sa imo exercise or kung nilalagay ko lang kung makaya mo diba? Then promote exercise with a group of friends. So dapat kung ikaw na nag-exercise, dapat like ma-motivate mo yung friends. Then have participants and amount of stakeholder and then complete with their exercise program. Encourage goals to be self-set, flexible, and time-based. Remind participants to focus on environmental cues. Help participants complete a decision balance sheet before starting the exercise program. Help participants choose a purposeful physical activity.
Assessing injuries in psychology. What is injury? The term injury means trauma to the body that results in at least temporary, but sometimes permanent, physical disability and inhibition of motor function. So the causes of injuries are the one is physical factors, two is social factors, three is psychological factors, and four personality factors, and number five a relationship between stress and injury. Understanding why athletes who have high stress in life are more prone to injury can significantly help you in designing effective sports medicine programs that deal with stress, reactions, and injury prevention. Two major theories: attentional disruptions and asking, focused on information related to the pain of the injury, awareness of the extent of injury, and questions about how the injury happened, and the equivalent recognizes the negative consequences or inconvenience. The number 2 is emotional, actival, and reactive behavior. Once the athlete realizes that she is injured, she may be emotionally agitated, have vacillating emotions, feel emotionally depleted, feel isolated and disconnected, feel shock, disbelief, denial, or self-pity. So that is the category, the responses of the injury. So the second one is emotional upheaval and reactive behavior. Once the athlete realizes that she is injured, she may become emotionally agitated. So number 3, positive outlook and coping. The athlete accepts the injury and deals with it. Initiates positive coping efforts, exhibits a good attitude, and is optimistic, and is relieved the sense of progress. So the other reactions of athletes have additional psychologist actions to injury, according to Class and Danish 1995. So these are some of these. Some of these other reactions may include the following. So there are 5. The number 1 is identity loss. Number 2 is fear and anxiety. Number 3 is lack of confidence. Number 4 is performance improvements. And number 5 is work process. So those are the other reactions that they include. And this one is the following are warning signs of poor adjustments to athletic injury according to Captas and Danish 1995. So number 1 is feeling of anger and confusion. Number 2 is obsession with the question of when one can return to play. The third one is denial. For example, the injury is no big deal. So number 4 is repeatedly coming back too soon and becoming re-injured. Exaggerated bragging about accomplishments. And the next is dwelling on minor physical complaints, guilt about letting the team down, withdrawal from the significant others, and rapid mood swings. And the last one is statement indicating the recovery will not occur no matter what is that. So this is the role of sports psychology in injury. So rehabilitation tremendous gains have been made in the rehabilitation of athletic and exercise-related injuries and active recovery. Less invasive surgical techniques and weight training are among these advances in rehabilitation. So new psychological techniques also facilitate the injury recovery process, and professionals increasingly use a holistic approach to healing both the mind and the body. So understanding the psychological injury is important for everyone involved in sport and exercise. So what is the psychology of recovery? In one early study of how psychological strategies help injury rehabilitation, Liva and Orlick in 1991 examined whether athletes with fast healing fewer than 5 weeks knee and ankle injury demonstrated greater use of psychological strategies and skills than those with slow healing more than 16 weeks of injuries. So what is psychology of recovery? So implications for injury treatment and recovery. So research on the psychology of athletic injury clearly shows that a holistic approach, one that supplements physical therapy with psychological strategies to facilitate recovery from injury, is to be recommended. So the first step in providing such a holistic approach to recovery is to understand the process of psychological rehabilitation and recovery. So these are the identify organization training. According to Arvin and Barrow and Clement 2015, the network established in 1995 and released and released on 1987.
Okay, let's proceed to burnout and overtraining. Definitions of overtraining, staleness, and burnout. Really, guys, training is the deliberate strategy of exposing athletes to high volume and high intensity training loads that are followed by a lower training load known as the rest or taper stage. According to Bomba and Gosling 2019, the goal in periodized training is to condition athletes so that their performance peaks at specific date or in a particular time frame, usually before main competitions or championships. Overtraining refers to a short cycle of training or lasting a few days to a few weeks, which athletes expose themselves to exceeded training loads that are nearest or maximal capacity. When we say overtraining, it also refers to over-exercising. When you are over-exercising, you will get trouble also. Staleness, the American Medical Association in 1966 has defined staleness as physiological state of overtraining which manifests as deteriorated athletic readiness. Thus, staleness is seen as the end result or outcome of overtraining when the athlete has difficulty maintaining standard training, which means it can no longer achieve previous performance results. Low staleness is also called kawalang gana or kumbaga it's when it's in the fruits, there's no fresh at all. And burnout has received more attention than overtraining or staleness, and many anecdotal reports as well as research investigations focusing on burnout. Burnout is also associated with high level stress. The following are characteristics of burnout. Exhaustion, both physical and emotional. When you feel, example, when you are in the sports, you feel exhaustion, both physical and emotional. Of course, you have no time to feel motivated because you're exhausted, and both physical and emotional are gone. Number two, feelings of lower personal accomplishment, low self-esteem, failure, and depression. Of course, when you feel feelings of low personal accomplishment, low self-esteem, failure, and depression, you have no idea when it comes to sports, especially if you get a mental block. Number three, depersonalization and devaluation. Frequency of training, stillness and burnout, although no large-scale systematic studies have been conducted on the epidemiology of overtraining, stillness, and burnout, what we know from research suggests that these are not trivial problems. Models of burnout, 6 sport-specific models of burnout have been developed to help explain the burnout phenomenon. The number one is cognitive affective stress model, number two, cognitive trained stress response model, three, undimensional identity development and internal control model, commitment and entrapment theory, and self-determination theory, and lastly, integrated model of athlete burnout. Cognitive affective stress model Smith in 1986 developed a four-stage stress-based model of burnout in sport. In Smith's model, burnout is a process involving physiological, psychological, and behavioral components that progress in predictable stages. In turn, each of these components is influenced by level of motivation and personality. The number one is functional demands. In this stage, high demands are placed on the athletes such as high model Salvas in 1990. Model for explaining burnout focuses more on responses to physical training, although it recognized the importance of physiological factors. Specifically, Salvas suggested that physical training stresses that unlike physical and physiological that can have both physical and negative effects. However, positive adaptation is a desirable outcome of training, as when an athlete overloads the body by doing a lot of strength work in order to become faster. Too much training, however, can result in negative adaptation. The negative adaptation is hypothesized to be the negative training responses such as overtraining and staleness, which eventually will resort to burnout. And dimensional identity development of external control model, the model by Smith by 1986 and Salvas 1990 focused primarily on stress, whereas Copley's in 1990 the model is more sociological. Although co-creators agree that stress is involved in the burnout, he argues is simply as a symptom. Commitment and entrapment theory, although most researchers have conceptualized burnout to be closely related to stress, another viewpoint is claimed that burnout in the context
So in this chapter, we will discuss about the addictive and unhealthy behaviors. So eating disorders. Here are some relevant definitions according to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, American Psychiatric Association in 2013. Anorexia nervosa includes the following characteristics, which is refusal to maintain a minimal body weight normal for a particular age and height. This is typically defined as weight 15% below average. Intense fear of gaining weight or becoming fat despite being underweight. Disturbance in how one experiences one body weight, size, or shape. So, for example, feeling fat even when one is clearly underweight. In females, the absence of at least 3 consecutive menstrual cycles otherwise expected to occur. So, primary or secondary amenorrhea. So, by the way, anorexia nervosa and bulimia are the two most common eating disorders. Anorexia is potentially fatal. It can lead to starvation and other medical complications such as heart disease. And in addition, this condition is made worse because it affected individuals often don't see themselves as abnormal. And finally, anorexia is a multidimensional disorder in which psychological, cognitive, perceptual, and biological factors interact in varying combination to produce slightly different types of disorder. So disordered eating, although anorexia and bulimia most certainly occur in sports, but the notion of disordered eating is referring to an entire spectrum of exaggerated eating patterns involving increased health risk. So it has gained fever, and at the extremes of disordered eating are anorexia and bulimia. So, however, a great deal of middle ground is occupied by eating problems that are not quite severe enough to meet the criteria of Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder for either anorexia or bulimia. So, prevalence of eating disorder and disordered eating in sports for a variety of reasons. So, it has traditionally been difficult to accurately assess eating disorders in any population. So, for example, in the competitive sport, so for example, in the competitive sport environment, an athlete risks being dropped from a program or team, and if his eating problem is discovered, therefore, athletes with these types of disorder are often very sensitive and are not willing to share information until the problem becomes almost catastrophic and professional help is necessary. In addition to these reporting issues, how prevalence data are reported also matters to the waters. Specifically, there are three types of prevalence data, and each should result in different percentage point proportion of athletes who have disorder at a specific point in time. So, for example, 6% of athletes reported having an eating disorder at the time data were collected, and period is proportion of athletes who had the disorder during a specific time. For example, 10% of athletes reported having had an eating disorder during their high school career. So, and the lifetime proportion of athletes who have had that disorder at any point or any point in their lifetime. So, for example, predisposing. So let's move on the predisposing factors. Practitioners, which is need to understand factors that might predispose an athlete to develop an eating disorder or disordered eating. Knowing these factors might help you prevent or reduce the probability that an eating disorder or disordered eating will occur in someone or yourself. And weight restriction and standard sports such as weightlifting, wrestling, and boxing commonly used with classification to subdivide competitor groups. So often athletes try to make weight, so they can compete at a lower weight classification, which presumably would give them an advantage against a lighter opponent. So some athletes, no, encourage nila ang ilang players to do more this time. Kabalo sila nga hindi siya healthy weight para sa ilang mga players. Social cultural factors, although genetics, can certainly influence disordered eating. The current thinking is that the condition has more to do with cultural emphasis on fitness, which can lead to widespread body dissatisfaction, especially in women. And critical comments about body shape and weight, although there has long been anecdotal evidence that critical comments about body shape and weight, for example, fat cow, culturally boy, race, and family, particularly negative affect females athletes. Little empirical research was conducted until the first decade of the 20th century. And genetic and biological factors, all the predisposing factors already noted regarding the development of an eating disorder related some manner to that environment. However, with the pervasiveness of these environmental factors, a persistent question might be, why do only a small fraction of individuals, and most of them are females, go on to develop an eating disorder? So nga ako mo, most of the females develop some eating disorder. And in an excellent previous article based on Striegel, Moore, and Bullock on 2007, discussed a number of studies investigating biological as well as social-cultural predictors of eating disorder. And also we have mediating factors, and although several factors noted previously that I have discussed are directly related to the development of eating disorder in sports. And this relationship is mediated by several factors, and for example, the personality factors of asceticism, submissiveness, and conformity were all related to eating pathology among athletes. And thus, if a coach has an athlete with any of these personal factors that I have mentioned, extra attention should be given to the possible development of an eating disorder of that person. Recognition and referral of an eating problem practitioners are an excellent decision to spot individuals with eating disorder based on Thompson 1987. Thus, they must be able to recognize the physical and psychological signs and symptoms of this condition noted earlier. Often unusual sleep patterns are among the best indicators of problem. So sometimes yung problem pa, dapat ma-recognize and ma-refer kung ano ang cause of eating problems sa isa ka person. When you know someone who is dealing with eating disorder, this would be the best thing to do. So be supportive and empathetic, emphasize the importance will do almost anything to gain a competitive advantage. The disqualification of athletes for using performance-enhancing drugs in recent Olympics and Tour de France competitions bear witness to the potential negative sport-related consequence of substance abuse. And the prevalence of substance abuse in sport, similar to the situation with eating disorder. So it is inherently difficult to get an accurate picture of substance use and abuse because of the sensitive and personal nature of the issue. Data are usually based on self-reports, which may help explain why usage estimates vary from 10% to 90%. National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse on 2000. And major drug categories and their effects in the sports and exercise field. Drugs are classified by their purpose, performance-enhancing drugs, and recreational, social, or street drugs, and the pain relievers. So, performance-enhancing drugs include anabolic steroids, beta blockers, and stimulants used by athletes or exercisers to increase strength, calmness, or back pain. So, some of the athletes or some of the players use substance abuse in order for them to increase their strength and to block pain para ma-lessen ang ilang manipulaction. So they take substance abuse. And the recreational drugs, also known as street drugs, are substances that people seek out and use for personal pleasure. So, you know the difference about the substance abuse and the recreational drugs. So the recreational drugs, so what we call the street drugs. Siya ang ginagamit sa athletes or exercisers para ma-pleasure ang ilang hobby na malipay sila ba. So, detection of substance abuse. Substance use and abuse are detected by formal procedures, which is the drug test. Unfortunately, properly conducted drug testing is very expensive. No? Like for example, nakapag-try kita sa program, pinapakita kita ang medication or certificate or medical certificate para mapalaan ko involved ka sa drugs. Okay? So, several signs and symptoms characterize people who abuse substances. Changes in behavior, for example, lack of motivation, tardiness or ginakapoy ka sa adlaw-adlaw, and absent reset. Changes in group, major changes in personality, ang pagbago-bago sa imo nga behavior or personality. Major changes in athletic or academic performance, and athletic or restless behaviors, impaired judgment, poor coordination, poor hygiene, and grooming to cause wetting, muscular twitches, or tremors. And sport deterrence model, drug abuse, one model put forth to help detect substance abuse and eventually deter drug use. And uses deterrence theory to help us understand the process individuals go through when deciding whether to use drugs. And based on Sterling and Goodman 2003, the drug in the sport deterrence model or DSTM consists of three major components, which is the cause of a decision to use, the benefits associated with using, and specific situational factors that may in some way affect the cost-benefit analysis of using. And the cost is the legal sanction, fine, suspension, or jail time. Social sanction or disapprove, criticism by important others, material dues, self-imposed sanctions, guilt-reduced self-esteem, and health concerns, negative side effects. So, some of the players or the exercisers use drug abuse, no? And ang legal sanction exercise to our overall health well-being? Yes, Ms. Arcelio.
The importance of exercise to our overall well-being is that it will make our overall well-being a positive and healthy one.
Very good, exactly. Very well said. And what about the others? What is your idea about the importance of exercise to your overall well-being? Yes, Ms. Cueva.
The importance of exercise, it is important because it can reduce our stress in our daily lives.
Very good, exactly. And for the second question, what would you rather choose, perform exercise or to visit your most favorite place? Yes, Ms. Naman.
I would rather choose perform exercise.
Why?
Because it gives us a lot of benefits, especially in reducing stress, anxiety, and also a depression.
That's very good. And what about you, Ms. Natosa? What would you rather choose? Perform exercise or visit your most favorite
Perform exercise because it can relieve stress and can improve mental health.
Very good, exactly. Good. All your answers are correct.
Review what we have tackled earlier. Here's the question: what are the parts of enhancing well-being? Anyone? Miss Naval? Exercise, behavior, and adherence. Very good. Exercise and psychological well-being. Correct. Number 2. What are the reasons why people take exercise and why people are not participating in exercise? Miss Naval, again. People are participating in exercise because it reduces stress, depression, and anxiety. It also help a person to lose weight. And then the reasons why people not participating in exercise is that because they are lack of time, lack of energy, and of course lack of motivation. Okay. How about the others? Okay. Let's proceed to the number 3. What are the 6 sport-specific mode of burnout? Miss Pala.
The 6 sport-specific model of burnout are cognitive affective stress model, negative framing stress response model, and dimensional identity development and external control model, commitment and environment theory, self-determination theory, and integrated model of athlete burnout model.
Correct. Okay, last but not least, what are the causes of eating behavior disorder? Miss Weba, I think the causes are stress and life and peer pressure. Okay, that's right. Very good. You really understand well our discussion. Have an activity, so we're directed first. Choose one from the example activities and exercise below and perform it. You can also click your ideal type of activity aside from the given examples as long as it helps you reduce stress and anxiety. I will give you 3 minutes and your time will start now. Okay, time is up. Are you ready to perform your activity? Yes! Okay, so who will perform first? Wow. Okay, Argelio. I choose an activity that can help me reduce stress and anxiety is doing household chores. That's all. Thank you. Okay, very good, Mr. Argelio. Please clap for okay, so who's next? Okay, Miss Pala.
I choose yoga activity to help me reduce my stress and anxiety.
Okay, very good, Miss Pala. And last, Miss Naval. I choose exercise in reducing stress and anxiety. Okay, very good. You really did well. So, can you applause for yourself? Okay, let's proceed to our quiz. So, please get one first sheet of pad paper. So, direction. Write E if it is true and F if it is false. So, give me no answer. Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Exchange your papers to your seatmates. Who can read and answer number 1? Pana.
Health refers to physical, mental, and social well-being, wellness aims to enhance well-being.
True. Is it correct?
Yes.
Okay. How about number 2? Cueva.
Exercise reduces anxiety, depression, and brain diseases, and increase feelings of well-being, relaxation, and overall good health. True, ma'am.
Okay. Number 3. Arkelio.
Exercise is not as effective as psychotherapy in reducing depression. False.
Okay. Number 4. Latosa.
These factors can be offset by positive behavior.
What's the answer?
True.
Okay. Number 5. Cueva.
Overtraining can result in mood changes, decreased motivation, frequent injuries, and infections. True, ma'am.
Okay. Number 6. Pala.
Your level of physical health can affect your mental or emotional health. False.
Is it correct?
Yes. True, ma'am. True.
ma'am.
False.
Number
Number 7. Arkelio.
Hardiness is a personality style that enables a person to withstand or cope with stressful situations. True.
Okay. Number 8. Latosa.
Pain can affect injury, especially if it's beyond usual muscle soreness. False.
Number 9. Arkelio again.
More weight loss by running having the stomach. False. True, ma'am. True.
False. True.
True.
Number 10. Cueva.
The relationships between exercise and cognitive mental functioning is larger for older adults than it is in the general population. True, ma'am.
True. Give the paper to its owner. Who got perfect score? Who got 9 and below? Okay.
Can give you
Before we end our discussion, kindly copy your assignments. Research about the